County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. Now, if you're watching on Facebook and he looks a little tired, he's a dad of 2-year-old twins. That is so cool. Seth Hrabovsky is with us here this morning. They keep you running, don't they?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I ought to spend the whole segment just talking about what it's like to be the dad of 2-year-old twins, because I imagine there are some stories.
Quite a few, yeah. They teach you something new every day. They keep you on your feet, and once you think you have it mastered, they take 5-6 minutes and come out with a new little skill that they've learned to torment you with. Yeah.
Our conversation is brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. So just tell me, is there one that are their personalities the same?
No,
they're not.
No, not at all.
So there's one that's a little bit harder to handle, shall we say? It's just
See,
different.
they're going to watch this 15, 16 years from now and be like, Dad, no, I
Facebook won't exist.
Yeah, it's true. I wouldn't say one's harder or anything. Just totally different. And I kind of, like you're saying, I kind of always expected them to be more similar than they are. But they're two totally different people. Yeah. And it's really neat to watch them kind of develop into their own individuals within that little grouping, if you will. But yeah.
Cool. That is so cool. All right. So, by the way, he's actually not here to talk about his twins. He's here to talk about International Conveyor and Rubber. We hear your spots all the time on the air, and we're hoping that they're effective for you and that you're able to get some folks to come work for you, because that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's money well spent. Obviously, we've been, as long as I've been at ICR, I've been here 3 years now. We've been in a partnership here, and having our ads blasted on the air, and I talk to people all the time. Obviously, we do a lot of interviews, and I hear it frequently enough that I'm quite satisfied. Oh, hey, I heard your ad on the radio. That's what made me apply. So,
yeah. Well, that being the case, let's introduce people or reintroduce them to what International Conveyor and Rubber is about. What do you do? How many locations? How many people work for this company?
Yeah, so ICR, we're it's funny, when I was here, the first time I came on the air, I think I even talked to you about it. People were always asking me, what do you do? And I'd talk about the interviews where people would come in and say, oh, you guys work with tires or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's totally not our industry. We're a conveyor service company. So our people, they go in, they repair, replace, install, and maintain all the conveyor belts, all the components along that entire belt line.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our clients are going to be coal companies, but we work in all sorts of industries. So aggregates, paper mills, power plants. You might even have amusement parks with people movers.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, that big industrial sized conveyor belt is what we're working on. Not typically something like you'd see in, say, Amazon warehouse. Not that.
Yeah.
I don't want to say small scale, but small scale, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So that larger the conveyor belt is what our people are working on, and we've expanded a little bit too. We're now in 5 states, so we're in Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, and now Alabama and Indiana. 7 different locations in those 5 states, 2 here in PA, 2 in Ohio, and then 1 in each other state. Just constantly working, constantly. Obviously we're expanding, so we're looking for a lot of employees at those newer locations too.
Yeah, well, that being the case, the types of jobs that people do when they become employees of International Conveyor and Rubber, I would imagine that there are all kinds of maintenance, there are materials, all kinds of different jobs that can be available.
Yeah, so we typically hire and kind of group it under 2 roles. You'll have our shop laborers and our conveyor belt technicians, or our field techs, basically the people that go out in the field. And basically the shop laborers are kind of like that support role to the field position, where they're getting everything ready back at the shop, maybe cutting some belt to size, doing some small belt repair for a repeat client. We might have their belt come in and just continue to refurbish it, things like that, get it ready to go out in their field, unloading the truck, loading up the trucks to go out in the field, things like that. The belt tech is kind of what you're more alluding to, where they're kind of that jack of all trades along that entire belt line. They might be doing a 4th lane repair here, or a total vulcanized splice at another location, things like that. So.
Yeah. And all of those jobs are jobs that need people in them.
Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah. We're constantly hiring. Here in Indiana, well, Blairsville, our location in Indiana County here, I'd say rough estimate, we're looking for somewhere between 10 and 20 people right now.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's part of the reason I came on the air today when I did. I mean, we're 2 days away from that job fair here at the Indiana Mall. I'll be there. So if anybody's listening and you're looking for work,
You've got it for them.
Yeah,
You've got it for them.
come see me right. 2 days from now, come see me. Put your app in online on Indeed if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your process is, we need you.
Yeah. Now, when people come to the job fair on Thursday at the Indiana Mall, will you be able to interview them on the spot?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be really in a position where I'm basically almost offering a position on the spot. A couple little things we'd have to clear up from there, but.
Yeah. Well, that's tremendous. When we think about what you do, and that particular industries like it, where we take so much for granted the things that we have in our lives.
Right.
We look around this studio. These mics, somebody had to make these. There's a company that had to do that. The microphones themselves, the structures that hold them up. In your type of business, the things you make are moving parts. Moving parts wear out eventually.
Yep.
And anything that moves wears. So there's always going to be work for you.
Yeah. It's and that's even we'll pull a lot of people that have worked in the coal mines in the past or even currently. We're a little bit more stable than the coal mines. I mean, you hear it every few months about a coal mine shutting down or things like that. We're essentially immune to that. The work is always going to be there. It doesn't matter if one coal mine shuts down because maybe we're working with 50 others at the moment, or we're working with a rock quarry or things like that. So there's a lot of stability. There's a lot of security being in a field where, like you just alluded to, things break. Things break and things always need moved, whether it's from point A to point B or from land to sea or whatever it may be. That's the industry that we're in.
Now, somebody might say, well, I don't have those types of skills. But they probably don't know what types of skills that you need or can develop in them.
Right. And that's, it's important for somebody to know what we as a company, obviously we're always looking for somebody that has some experience in the coal mines or maybe even has experience in another belting company as well. But those are so few and far between. It's kind of laughable. Most of our employees, most of our people that start with us have absolutely no experience at all. The closest you might get to it is maybe somebody that was a carpenter or an auto mechanic or something like that beforehand, where you might have some hand skills, if you will, or tool familiarity. You're not going to find somebody that probably even knows what a conveyor belt actually even looks like or even does, or half the parts out there, let alone even somebody with a multitude of skills that might translate. So I've said it before too. I mean, I'm looking at high school kids. I mean, if college isn't for you, and you've gone through and you want to take some time and work in the field, you have an excellent opportunity to start out for a company at $17 an hour with absolutely nothing under your belt other than a high school degree.
Yeah.
And that's looking back at when I graduated high school, that's insane to me. You're talking $35,000 a year fresh out of high school.
Yeah, I was mowing grass when I graduated. And I had a really good grass mowing business going right then, but I wasn't making $17 an hour.
No.
I went to work for an industrial plant right after high school before I started college, and was able to build up some money for college, and maybe kids want to approach it that way, but there are people that are going to enter that field that you're describing, and maybe that's their lifetime career. They find out this is something that they love to do, and they can go places.
Yeah, and it's kind of neat because I get that all the time too. I didn't expect this to be the job that it is, but I like seeing something different every day. I like doing something new every day. That's the bottom line of the position, and really you pretty much are. You're always going to have some new situation come up, or something function a way that you'd never expect, or break in a way that you'd never expect. So it's
Mm-hmm.
always a new challenge. It's always something different. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody comes and applies, say they come to the job fair on Thursday at the Indiana Mall and they visit you there, and they want to apply to work at International Conveyor and Rubber. Are they applying for only the Indiana County plant, or is there the opportunity for them to move to another plant in another state?
Yeah. We'd always be open to someone that wants to work in another area, and that's I was thinking before I got here. It's neat, the global community. I've been on my honeymoon in Mexico, for example, and I grew up in a little itty bitty town of Rural Valley. And I'm talking to people that know specifically the bars and locations in Rural Valley. The town maybe has 1,000 people in it, in Mexico. So this is a global community, right? And basically what I'm getting at with that is, I'm doing this ad here in Indiana County, Indiana, PA, but there's someone that has family out in, our Evansville, Indiana location, or Bessemer, Alabama, or Washington, PA. There's all these locations that if you have someone that that they're looking for work and they're relatively within that location, absolutely have them apply. This is an opportunity for you to help them and talk to them, and for them to get on with a really great company. So, and also, like you're saying, there's an opportunity for somebody that maybe starts out here in Blairsville and they decide they want to move to Ohio or West Virginia or wherever it may be. Yeah, absolutely, we'll have work for you as long as you're within a reasonable drive and it works for you. We'll figure it out. We'll make it work.
Yeah, and if they get to the Evansville, Indiana thing, they'll be there next year when IUP plays for the national championship again.
There you go.
So all kinds of opportunities. Seth, people can find you at the job fair on Thursday at the Indiana Mall. You'll be there from 10 a.m. to 2, but they can get you anytime.
Absolutely.
What's the best way?
Best way, if you're looking for work and you want to apply, you want to go on our website, intl-c-r.com. From there, it'll direct you to Indeed and all of our job ads out there. Or you can, contact me direct. My information's out there on the website as well. Whatever works best for you.
He's Seth Hrabovsky, and it's International Conveyor and Rubber. Hey, thanks for coming in to visit with us.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it. Good luck with the Twins today.
Yeah, thank you.
They're going to run them ragged. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.